You want to do our
Oh,
clappies?
you don't have to do that for this.
I don't have to record on Audacity anymore?
No, I already told you that we don't have to do that anymore.
Yeah, I just like doing it, but that's okay. I'll stop.
I mean, if you want a solo recording of you, that's fine. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Stand the
But we
Line
have to clap for you to get in sync.
What do I have to get in sync with? You don't have to record anything.
That's so okay. Wow, work. Okay, yeah, but we'll get into this. Never mind. Ignore me.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Stand the Line, a horror genre podcast hosted and created by me, Terrah, and every week we talk about something horror genre related, and we are closing out our mini Creepshow series. This is our final part. There's not a season 4, so we are just doing 3 parts, and it's perfect because next week we have Dracula, which is kind of crazy. Yeah, next week we have Dracula, which is insane to kind of think about. Yeah. I'm Terrah.
And I'm Zanny.
Yeah, every Thursday we got a new episode of the podcast. Zanny,
yes.
What's the sitch? What's been going on with you?
Life is lifing. I just got back from the Renaissance Festival today. First time going since I was like 12.
Which isn't like a Beyonce festival for the album Renaissance.
Wrong
it's more
party,
like
yeah.
Ren Fair kind of shit.
Yeah, I went for Beyonce and I left, for Tangled. That was a bad joke. It's okay.
Yeah. So yeah, is that all you've been up to?
Yeah, just that and drag. Living my best life, watching some dumb stuff on Shudder, binge watching some new stuff. That new Netflix show that just came out, I've been watching that, The Midnight Club. I highly recommend it.
Is it good?
Yeah, it's actually really good. It's got
Heather Langenkamp in it, which I like. I like her.
It has there's a character on it who was in Midnight Mass.
Don't know what that is.
And I wish I could tell you her name. Hold on, let me pull it up right now.
Amy Winehouse.
So I watched 2 episodes, right? And she shows up in the second episode. She played Beth in Midnight Mass.
Shout out to Beth.
And her name is Bev, B-E-V. Sorry, not Beth, B-E-V. Her government name, Samantha Sloyan.
The cat was like, "Yes, Queen Samantha."
I know. I'm like, do I need to go? She's in the other room.
We're gonna have to put her down.
When I saw she was in it, I said, "This is gonna be a good show," and it's impressed. But
I watched this new movie on Shudder called Deadstream, and it's basically like this guy live streaming himself in a haunted house. It's very like Evil Dead, but today. It was an interesting movie. It wasn't bad, so I really want to see. I want to see Smile. That new Halloween movie just came out, and the reviews are like crazy.
Up and down.
Yeah.
I'm about to go see Smile, I think this week, if you want to potentially maybe do a little moment on smell.
Well, I mean, I would love to, record shit in bulk and then be able to, after Dracula, take a fucking break and just, post shit. So.
Valid. Do you have your candle with you?
My candle? Yes, I do. Are we lighting this for our final Shudder
This
creep
started
show?
as a joke, and now it's like my favorite trend.
Spirits, call upon thee. It's like almost out for mine.
My candle literally just, the flame just immediately went from a big flame to like...
Spirits, we are here to talk about Creepshow Season 3 on Shudder, my dear. Do you want to give us a little rhyme or something? I like that we're just like going in circles with the candle.
Coochie creep, coochie show, coochie spook, coochie go. It has a rhyme.
Coochie slow.
Coochie slow. Yeah. The brain cell is Renaissance Fest took me out. It was wild. It was a lot to do.
What'd you do there? Did you like joust?
Well, no. So I mean, the Renaissance Fest I went to, but the one I went to when I was a kid was like just like a strip, and it was just like little vendors. It was nothing major. This one was like, I can't even tell you, like acres, like, and they had like I'll send you, like they had buildings like actually built, like it was a whole different time genre energy, like completely. It was like walking into an actual city, and it just kept going. We went today, we got there at 1 and we stayed until 6:30, and we didn't even see half of it. It was like,
did you put on the accent while you were there?
No.
Oi bruv, let's go get us a fucking turkey leg.
Turkey legs. We did yell for turkey legs and no one showed us. And then I took some photos with the plague doctor. It was really cute. And then I met a knight who had a really thick ass, and he was really nice to me. So, win-win. So, this is eventful.
Sure. We're going to be talking about Creepshow Season 3. Have you guys figured out that we're talking about Creepshow? Because we said it about 10 fucking times. We're talking about Season 3 of Creepshow, and this is our ranking list. So this is Zanny and Zanny and I's ranking list, and this is based on our own opinions, so some of ours will not be the same, and on the odd instances, we'll have like 2 that randomly match.
And we will say, this is literally just an opinion. If it hurts your feelings, we apologize.
Because we're gonna spoil the shit out of this season if you want
spoil
to.
The shit, baby.
Yeah, stinky poopy shit.
Stinky poopy spoiled poop.
Stinky poopy spoiled shit poopy girl. Go watch it on Shudder.
So season 3 had 6 episodes, which is really cute, which means 12 segments.
Yeah.
And it first aired in September 23, 2021. And the last episode was on October 28th, 2021. I think it's the same production, correct? Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's been the same for each season. I just have to say, off the top of the head, what happened with this season? Because it seems like for a lot of the episodes, I kind of was not enthused.
Yeah, it's also like season 1, right? It was just a lot to soak in. And so I was like, I wish season 2 would just be a little less. And then season 2, it was a little less. And it was a little bit more storytelling. And I loved that.
Yeah.
And then season 3 was, I was like, well, they've got it. Like, we're out of pilot season, because everyone knows the first pilot season is not the best.
Yeah.
They're figuring out what works and what doesn't. Season 3, I was like, yay. Clicked on it. So confusing. So all over the place.
So already done. I feel like a lot of their stories had already been done.
Yeah, and also very expected. I was trying to explain this to one of my friends that I watched it with as well. Predictable. And the thing that I normally liked about Creepshow is that it was so chaotically random that my mind wouldn't, like, because my mind would be like, she's going to go into the bedroom and there's going to be the killer, or she's going to go hide in the closet. And in Creepshow, the essence of Creepshow would be like, oh, she's going to go hide in the closet, and the bitch would hide.
And then the closet was the monster.
That, like, there was like always something coming, Or no, the closet, the monster was the closet.
Yeah.
And like it opened up and it was like,
oh, that's a good idea.
House.
Like, afraid of the monster in the closet, and it turns out the closet is the monster.
Is the monster.
Oh my god, that would be sickening.
Creepshow, hire us.
Yeah, literally. Get us.
But it was cute. I did enjoy it a lot. I liked it. There were, and I said this to you prior, there were some that were my favorite out of the entire series. What are you Google busting about?
I'm just looking at my list.
Oh, okay.
No, I got like
There were some that I really loved. Like there were 3 that I can say were like probably my favorite of the entire franchise. And there wasn't anything that I hated, where the season 1 and season 2, there were some that I was like, I cannot stand that.
Oh.
They shall not be named. There was none that I passionately hated on this one.
I have various opinions.
Making my list, there were a lot. Like the other 2 times I literally was like, I don't know. Like, this is hard. This one was the easiest. Like I literally was like,
the other ones, it was like, oh, it's hard to narrow down my top ones. This one, It was hard to narrow down my bottom ones because there was a lot. Shudder, if you're listening to this, or any of the writers, I am so sorry. I don't know. I don't know what happened with this season, because there was a few stories in here that I really liked, and for a lot of them, especially in the middle of the season, I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened. I didn't understand the writing. So do you want to kick it off at our number 12 list?
I know. I can already tell how off our lists are going to be. My number 12 personally was Stranger Things. Really quick summary. Stranger Things, I love a pun. To me, like, a pun to me, it should make sense. There's no reference to Stranger Things, like, at all, which is fine. But, like, I expected maybe something, especially with how much they take references from other things.
Yeah.
So Stranger Things is just this guy who goes to a coffee shop, meets this girl. The worst flirting I've ever heard of in my entire life.
The worst flirting. It made me so uncomfortable.
He literally,
like, my name is Sarah without an H, but they put an H, and he's like, my name's Barry without an H.
Yeah, and then he goes, I love your smile. And then she goes, thanks. And he goes, yeah, it's a beautiful smile. He goes, I'm a doctor. Sorry, I'm an OBGYN.
Yeah.
I know a lot. I see women all the time. I just don't normally see their smiles. Like, what the?
I'm usually in their pussy holes. Is like.
But finger, pussy, finger. Like, what? And so that's how he flirts with her. But the gag, right, is she lures him back to her home. They walk home or whatever. He's like, I hope you're not going to kill me. And she's like, no. And then she's not going to kill him. Her roommate is a siren and sings and
not like a mermaid siren. There's apparently different types of sirens.
A different version, like a bird version. Thing. Long story short, her roommate is tired of seducing men, is tired of the vocal box. And the girl that is...
Because the vocals basically mesmerize men, and it gets them to come over.
Kill them.
They want to switch vocal boxes, which I was like, it doesn't make sense because, one, they would have to both be under procedure because they're like, we need one of us to stay awake so you don't try anything. So I'm thinking, so are you going to cut open that, take the vocal box out, then sew them back up, then have this bitch go to sleep, take out their vocal box, sew them back up, wait for this bitch to go back to sleep, put their vocal box in. Like, how would you have them both awake? It doesn't make sense.
Also, what made no sense, right, is Homegirl's like, I'm tired of being a siren. Like, I'm tired of hypnotizing men and killing them afterwards. One, don't kill them afterwards.
No one asked you to do that.
Two, nobody asked you to sing. Like, I get that it's hard. If I hear a bop and it's stuck in my head, I'm gonna sing all day. But like, censor yourself. You don't need to fucking cut out your vocal cords and then switch it with your best friend.
The shoving of the cat for me.
And I'm like, stop it, Aurora. And then three, like, you could have just took the vocal box out and you could have just been mute. Like, you didn't need to have a best friend to swap places with. The best friend desperately wanted to do it.
Yeah, she wanted to be a siren. And yeah, the plot twist is she always wanted men, and she lures this guy, and they're about to fuck/eat him, and then the previous siren, who's now human, which I'm like, how does that even work, kills her. Then they're like, let's go on a date. Like, honestly, sure. This should have been ranked lower for me. I put it way too high, but honestly, the bottom 5 could have been anywhere in the bottom for me.
It just was not my fantasy. I'm weird about mythology and stuff like that. If it's going to be done, I want it to be done correctly. And if it's not going to be done correctly, I don't want to see it at all. The acting
was questionable. Very questionable. The plot of the story was she now wants a man. Like, I don't know. I wasn't a fan of that one either. And like I said, I probably should have ranked it a little bit lower. I didn't. Because my rank 12 is Skeletons in the Closet. Skeletons in the Closet is one about a prop museum. And, you know, it's cute that, like, honestly, like I said, for a lot of these, they could have all been in the bottom. I was not a fan of this. So Skeletons in the Closet is a story about this couple who owns a prop museum, and they have props from a lot of horror movies, like Phantasma, which is also someone's killed the same way in Phantasma.
They have the claw from Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yeah, they have Freddy's claw. They have chainsaws from a few different movies. Like, they have a lot of things. They even have, like, the big exhibit is that they had the real bodies, like, the real human bodies that were in selective movies, like in the Poltergeist. And then they even have a Creepshow reference. They had the Creepshow guy in there too. And then his dad, he somehow acid melted his dad to get the bones. And then at one point, okay, he has a big rivalry with this guy, Bateman.
Yeah, Bateman.
Which probably is like Bates Motel, so I don't know. But he has this rivalry with this prop dude. He's trying to get one of the bodies back because the main guy in this is a grave digger, like grave robber. He stole one of the bodies, which is fucked up. And his girlfriend's like, what? Oh my god. And then uses a knife shoe to slash Bateman's neck. So that's a lot. There's a lot going on there. And they acid... I don't know where they have this in the back of their store, but they just have an acid bathroom to dissolve this guy, except for his ponytail. Because that's how you need to differentiate the characters. I did not like it. We had CGI skeletons fighting each other. The acting was very theater acting. And I did not like the acting in this one at all. This is probably my least favorite acting. One of my least favorite acting in this whole season was in this story.
Yeah. I did not like it until, I will say, like, there's a scene where, like, they really play it into to old historic, or not historical, old horror movie, like, tropes. It's like that scene where she's, like, in the shower, and it goes to a black and white filter, and it's super dramatic. I just thought it was camp.
It's a Shining, or not a Shining, it's a Psycho reference.
Yeah, and, like, it's, like, literally the worst skeleton hand holding a knife, and it's literally just, like, the knife is going back and forth. It's so out of rhythm. It's, like, touching her body.
Well, yeah, that's how, have you seen Psycho before?
Yeah, I'm just like, but I'm saying, like, this is so low budget and the quality was so, like, they knew. And so it lasted for like 45 seconds. I just thought it was so funny.
I've been in, like, I've done film classes before in college, and this is always like, hey, do you need to practice filming something? Just do the Psycho scene. Like, it's, for me, it has been done over so many times to where it's like the first thing that you practice filming in college. The other thing that's overplayed in a lot of horror movies is the Shining reference of the axe in the door. And I was like, we followed that up right after this one, and I was just like, I'm over it. I'm over it. I
These
don't
work.
care. The only one that I really liked was the reference to Phantasm when the ball goes into the head and
Into
it
the head.
shoots out all that random dude. I don't even know who the fuck that was, but
Same. They said his name like 6 times. I'm assuming, and then he just showed up, and I was like, "Ooh."
and then he turns his dead girlfriend into a skeleton prop and makes out with her.
See, it was. I will say it was so foul that the whole time I was just, I can't believe I'm watching this, and I was just laughing and giggle busting by myself.
I'm glad you liked it.
Do you want to talk about our number 11?
Our number 11. Do you want to go first or me?
Sure. So my number 11 was drug traffic.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
Why? What was your 11 drug traffic?
No, my number 11 was Time Out.
Drug traffic. I liked the acting. And I loved the special effects and the CGI. It was really good. It was really interesting. So drug traffic is, there's this politician, and he's basically talking about how awful the healthcare system in America is, which is valid. So he's doing like a campaign. He has a bunch of people coming to like basically like, whoa, like no one takes care of us. Our health is bad. Woohoo, woohoo. And they're coming back in. They're coming back into America, or they're leaving. I forgot.
I think they're coming back to America.
Yeah, they did like a tour.
The main thing is that one of the people there is with her daughter, and she is basically getting medicine for Canada and smuggling it back into the U.S. So yeah, they went to Canada to get medicine and then come back, or something of the sort. And
the daughter's like severely ill.
Bitch, she looks bad.
Bad, and so she like throws up and she's sick, and so the border patrol guy's like, something's off, like come here, and just investigating the mom, and opens a bag, finds all of the medicine. It's like, this is illegal, detains her and is like, we're gonna have to have a conversation. And so, like, meanwhile, she's like, I have to help my daughter. Like, my daughter has to keep taking this medicine. Like, if she doesn't, like, something bad's going to happen. They're like, no. Like, we're not leaving until we're done. The political campaign guy is like, we're going to take this footage. Like, we're going to twist it. Like, we're going to make this whole storyline.
To make it seem like the agent is racist. Even though the agent says earlier, I'm a communist. Like, I don't give a fuck unless, like, he was like, you know nothing about being leftist. Like, he says that basically to the political, because the whole thing is, this guy who's running for office really isn't, he's very conservative, and he's just running against a conservative party to kind of get votes. Like, he even says like, oh, can't you believe that this was our issue? The security person was going to say something else, and then the guy is racist and says immigrants, and he's like, what the fuck, dude, why are you so racist? The whole thing is like, he's insinuating that the border patrol agent is racist, but he's like, dude, they put me out here because I don't give a fuck about anything. He even says to the woman, he's like, hey, they're gonna try and spin this whole narrative and make it seem like I'm gonna hate you because you're an immigrant crossing the thing, like the border. And he was like, honestly, I don't give a fuck, but since they have cameras right now, I have to look like I'm doing my job. So we can just do this little thing first, and when we do this, like, good girl, you're good. That's basically what he says to her.
Yeah, and then she's like, no, I have to get to my daughter immediately. And the reason why is because the daughter is like this entity, this demonic being, and like the head comes out of the body. It was really cool.
Yeah, like,
and it becomes this floating head with the dripping intestines, and it basically devours and eats everyone in the station.
Yeah,
killing them off like one by one. While meanwhile, like, this whole altercation's happening. At the end, they realize that if they hurt the body that the head was attached to, it'll hurt the floating head. They kill the bitch. Yay. Allegedly. And then the mom is depressed and she's sad, and so she kills herself by decapitating herself.
Yeah.
And then the head looks over at the body and then floats and then enters the mom's body, connects, and then becomes one with like the floating head in the mom's body and leaves.
Yeah. Bites her whole arm off to get out because the mom was handcuffed. Does she kill the other two or just like walks out of there?
I think she just walked out. I don't know. I think it's up for our artist interpretation. I think she just moved on.
Yeah, because she goes to the bus and then the crypt keeper is like, there.
Opens the door and is like, ah.
I was like, oh, what happened to the political guys?
To me, it would be higher on my list. I think I honestly probably could have put it higher as well. To me, the second the girl walked in, I was like, which I understand they were trying to do a campaign of like, oh, like we're weak and ill, but she was like obviously so sick and so ill and so weak. There's no way I would have like allowed this person, like I would have immediately went to the doctor then.
Yeah, it's just weird to bring a very chronically ill person onto your campaign and be like
chronically ill.
I enjoyed the story because I thought she was just gonna be a regular zombie, and then her head rips off of her own body, and I was like, oh, bitch, this is insane.
And it was, and the killing scenes were funny. The lighting The angles, the editing, I liked. The only part that was kind of weird is like there's one point where like the head's laying on the floor and she like gets up, and I just thought that was so funny.
Just like,
Because you could, yeah, because you could tell it was green screen. It's like the way the head moved, you could tell it was
I
attached
mean,
to
the
her
head
body.
moving around is pretty wonky. One thing I thought was like really dumb was like, so the two survivors are going into the main room, waiting room where everyone's at, and they're like, oh my god, it's like they were all butchered. I'm like, but if you look at the bodies, they're just like laying down and have some blood on them. Like their body parts are together, like nothing
That
crazy happened. I was hoping to see just like limbs everywhere or something.
also like why not leave? Like they saw like it killed them off one by one. Like people could have just walked out.
Yeah.
So it was just kind of weird. Like they gave the essence of like being trapped, but like I don't know. It was cute. It just there was some small loopholes that I didn't feel for. But what was your 11?
So my 11 was Time Out, like I said earlier. And Time
Hmm.
Out is a story about this dude who gets a magical wardrobe from his grandma. And when you are in the wardrobe, it closes in on you, so you have to make sure you have the key so you can go in and go out. And when you're in the wardrobe, time basically freezes or slows down on the outside, but it speeds up in there. Like, so, or like, yeah, time goes by really fast in there. In a way, it's kind of confusing. Like, so he goes in there to like study for his exam because he's about to be late for his exam. So it's like 7:24. He goes in there and he studies a lot, and he comes back out and it's still 7:24. And he's like, okay, cool, tight, that's awesome. So that's like the whole plot of this. Like he gets kind of greedy because he keeps going in there for work to study for work so he can get all these high positions, and then he's like, you know what, I'm just gonna stop doing this because it's aging him.
Hmm.
It's aging him pretty badly. Like his bones are all kind of brittle and shit like that, even though he just has a beard. And then it ends basically with him going in there, and I was expecting this to happen. He goes in there and his key falls out of his pocket and he's trapped in there, and then when his son comes and unlocks it, because he's like, Dad, where are you? His dad aged so much in that time because, the son didn't know how long he was in there for. And he just bursts into ash. And then the son is like, Dad, even though he just witnessed his dad explode, he's like, Dad, where'd you go?
Where'd
And
you
goes
go?
into the wardrobe and it closes on him. So then, and he didn't have the keys, so the son presumably dies too. So
Yeah.
I didn't really care for this one because there were so many fucking time jumps. There were so many time jumps. I didn't know when this movie was supposed to start because I thought like the funeral in the beginning was in in World War II, because it said in the comic book thing like World War II, and like war
Hmm.
shit was going on, and I was like, oh, is this another like period piece? But then it's 10 years later and he's a full ass college student. And then it goes 5 years later, 3 years later, 3 more years later. I was like, this is too many fucking time jumps for
That
such
also
a
like
very small story.
they also did a lot of like we got it. He was using the box for work, and I only need to see it like once, but they did it like 3 or 4 times. That they kept showing the same thing to kind of get you to understand it.
Yeah.
And then it's just ironic. I don't know. It's just the same storyline, and like I understand like he's working a lot and he doesn't have to work as hard, but the wife is like, you don't have to do it anymore. Like you don't have to keep doing this. And I'm like, that's not real. Like money is still an issue in this world. Like you still need to have a
Well,
job.
he would have still had his job. He just was so set on getting more promotions.
Yeah, but then that was the part that was confusing, right? Because then the boss calls him and is like, can you get this done by tomorrow? If not, don't show up for work tomorrow. Like I was like, so you're alluding that this person just, it was there were some loopholes that I also,
Yeah,
but it was a
I
lot
just.
higher on my list.
Oh, really? Okay. Well, I didn't care for it. So, we're going to number 10, which, like I said, for a lot of these stories, they could have just been thrown anywhere for me, and I didn't care. My number 10 was Familiar.
I
You liked Familiar?
I did.
So, Familiar is a story about King Batch, who was someone who was on Vine. I found his comedy very annoying, so when seeing him in this, I was like, oh god, I hate your acting. He goes to a fortune teller with his partner, and he's talking to the girl, and I thought it was very cool, this scene of he's like talking to the partner to the right, and then on the left he slips King a note,
Hmm.
and it's like something dark or something bad followed you in here. So I automatically was like, it was his girlfriend. Cut to, he's being haunted, seeing these demons, and then he goes see the guy, and the guy's like, well, you need a. I do like the humor of the guy being like, I can tell you if you get this one item, it's in the gift shop, so you can buy it.
Yeah.
He needs to put this demon thing in a crate and then put it in, like, drown it. So he does that, and it sounds like his girlfriend's in there. And then he does that, and then he comes back, and then the girlfriend is in his home.
No! You skipped so many parts of the story that makes sense.
To me, it didn't make sense, though.
It made so much sense to me. Okay, so the guy is like, there's an entity following you. He's like, the way that you get rid of it is like, you can't kill it. So you have to prevent it from ever being able to follow you, because the closer it gets to you, the more harm it's going to do to you and to the people you're around. So he's like, you have to get a crate or something that you can trap it in. And then he was like, and then you want to throw it into the deepest river you can throw it into, to where there's no way it'll ever escape and it'll never be found and it'll drown forever in eternity. The guy's like, bet. And so he goes home with the crate, and he's like, how do I lure the creature? And he's like, this necklace of joy. Like, it needs something innocent to feast upon. And, like, somebody made it for me out of love, so, like, it's, XYZ. So he puts the necklace under the crate, and then the demon, he walks away, whatever, and the demon goes to the necklace, the crate falls. And so he's like, ha, I've got the demon. And then they have a dog, and he starts hearing a dog whimper, because the demon can imitate voices and other sounds. So he's like, fuck, I caught the dog, not the demon. So he lifts the crate box up, and when he lifts the crate box up, he notices there's nothing there. The pendant is gone, and then he sees the demon, and the demon vanishes. So the next time he does this, he's like, I'm going to do it for sure. Like, I'm going to make sure I stay awake. And so he puts the crate up, and then he sets it up or whatever. The girlfriend calls and is like, I'm not coming home tonight. Like, have fun with your imaginary friend. I've got caught up in the office.
Yeah,
so he doesn't think
he puts, like, a gift from her, like a lamb, a sacrificial lamb.
And so then he puts a lamb underneath the box, whatever, that was made from love. It's a little figure. And so she's like, don't worry about it. And so he sets his camera up, and he's like, I'm going to watch it. And then he falls asleep. The crate falls. He picks up his phone. He looks at it. And his phone, like, glitches out, so he can't see the video.
Yes,
and it's his girlfriend's voice. And he's like, there's no way that's my girlfriend. He's like, you absorbed her voice. Like, let me call her. So he calls, and no one answers. So he calls again, no one answers. So he's like, there's no way it's my girlfriend. And the whole time she's like, let me out, let me out, let me out. So then he throws the crate into the river, lets it drown or whatever, and he goes home. And the demon is in his home with the girlfriend's body that has been drowned. And, like, the demon kind of possesses the body and is like, ha, like, you can't fool me. And the, like, girlfriend's dead body, like, goes up to him and is like, now I believe you, because at first she didn't believe him. And so basically, like, the demon has convinced him to drown his girl, like, manipulated him. Once the demon found out what he was doing the first time, the demon was like, I'm gonna teach you a lesson.
But how did she get trapped in there? Did she just see the figurine and was like, let me walk over there? And
the demon probably entranced her or something, or, like, the demon was using her the whole time. Or the demon's more magical than we thought. I switched places. Was like, bitch, get
that wasn't clear to me.
Well, I can tell from your description.
And also, like, the acting was really bad.
The acting was foul. Like, she was acting drunk at the beginning, and I was like, I'm so over this. And then also, like, so she believes in palm readings, right? Like, she believes in the supernatural enough to read palms. Because she's like,
but a demon is where she draws the fucking line.
And he is like, I don't believe in this stuff. I think it's dumb. I don't want to do it. She's like, come on, let's just go get our palms. Like, come on, it'll be so much fun. Does it? She's eating it up. She's like, he's telling me things, like, names that I know. Like, oh my gosh, like, this is so real. Like, this is so valid. Then he texts her, and he's like, yo, there's, like, a demon following me, and, like, shows the paper to her.
Oh, and she's just like, LOL, isn't that cool? Like, at least you have proof that like things like this exist.
I thought
maybe she was better off dead.
I thought she was going to end up being in on it.
I thought she was like the tether. I thought the whole thing was that she was the tether.
But then it wasn't that at all. She was just an innocent person. But, like, she literally would mock him. She scared him all the time. She made fun of him. Like, so when she died, I was like, bitch, fuck you. You need a better girlfriend anyways. There was a lot higher on my list.
Okay, work. What was your number 10?
My number 10 was Okay, I'll Bite. To me, that name, I don't even understand that name to this one. Long story short, there's just a guy in prison. He makes drugs. He sells them. He's running out of time. He's kind of chaotic. He loves spiders, though, and I don't understand how he has spiders, but he has spiders.
In prison, bitch.
In prison,
Where did
and they
you
just
get
let
these
it
fucking
happen.
Spiders from, like, tarantula spiders, y'all, like big ass fucking spiders, and they're like, yeah, we know we let you have this. I was like, why? Why do you have this?
There's, like, a hole in his cell, and he like looks inside of it. Long story short, it's like a tomb almost of this prehistoric giant spider. creature entity,
Don't know
and
how
he's
that got in
feeding
there.
it. Don't know how that got there. Don't know how it happened to just be a cell, whatever. So then, long story short, like he's not. These people are harassing him. They're bullying him. They want product. He can't get it.
Yeah, and
They kill one of the.
one of them is a guard, a prison
Yeah.
guard who's an asshole. His acting was also very
Also,
questionable.
like his intimidation, he was like, "I'm gonna be mean to you, and you're
Yeah,
gonna deal with
you
it."
better watch your back,
There was no voice
boy.
inflation. It was just that. Half the time, I didn't even realize he was insulting the person until the insult was done, because there was no voice inflection. He didn't look at you. Like I was like, "Did you just read me?" And then he'd be like, "Yeah, I did." And I'm like, "No, like I'm being serious. Like, did you read me? Because you, what was that?"
The only reason why this was ranked higher for me was because a lot of them were bad. I like this shot of like, so he does this ritual thing because they don't have a lot of time left because they're going to do pest control because one of the spiders bit somebody directly in the fucking eyeball. That's what would happen if you had spiders like that. But he does this ritual for this like ancient spider thing to take over him. And I just love the reveal where the spider is, which for some reason there's a giant hole in the ceiling now.
Mm-hmm.
The spider comes out of it, and I thought it was like huge, but it turns out it's just like spider legs, and then the body of the spider is his head, which I thought was like really, that was like kind of spooky.
Yeah, and it basically just feasts on the bodies and stuff like that. And then they find the body, tied up in spider webs and everything like that.
Oh, sucked
Um,
out, like drained.
Yeah, drained. And it was
Yeah.
cute. And it was, the guys came into the cell, they were intimidating him. They killed one of the spiders, and in retaliation, like
Build
the
up
buildup
was
was crazy.
weird.
He also talked in a weird voice. The acting was a little weird. It wasn't bad. It just, for me, that was my number 10. I didn't it
It's
was
the
there was nothing
fact
that
I
was
got this
crazy.
higher. Why do I got this higher?
Well, see, that's how I felt whenever I was explaining drug traffic. I was like, why is my drug traffic so low? What was your number 9?
So on our number 9 list, mine was
Number
Meter
9.
Reader.
I'm done with you.
Meter Reader, you like that one?
I was at 9.
It was 9 to me, bitch. A lot of these I did not care for. Meter Reader is the story. It's like a post-apocalyptic story with like kind of like demonic vampire-ish creatures who are like possessing people. It's very I don't know the fucking movie, but there's a movie that's like this. It has this old like I don't know if you've seen the clip on Twitter. It's this old woman who's like, I'm gonna eat your fucking baby. And it's like an old woman who's like flying around. I don't know what that movie is called. It's so fucking weird. If y'all know what it is, please let me know. The dad is like a meter reader, which is someone who can sense who these demons are. And he goes to exercise, quote unquote. He's not a father. Exercise this girl. Turns out the mom is a demon or something.
Not the girl, yeah.
We don't see him for 3 days. So we're back at the family. And it's like post-apocalyptic, but they still, like, every morning they collect heads. Like, the garbage people collect heads, and then they throw them in the burn. Yeah, that's the whole thing. And turns out the dad is maybe bad.
No.
Wasn't bad. He wasn't right. So why did he?
So no, so basically like
I
you
was
can
confused.
the thing and this is the part where this is why it's crazy. So there's this virus that takes over. It's like a demonic, evil spirited virus that like
Not you mansplaining.
it's honestly is so what?
I said not you mansplaining me.
No, but it's very spooky, this demonic thing. And so it's almost like COVID, like it infects you, but you can be immune to it. And the dad is immune to it, which is if you're immune to it, then you can be a meter reader because you can be close to these people without catching the virus. And so he leaves for 3 days, but you have to test yourself every 72 hours. So when he comes home, they're like, Dad, you can't come in, you gotta get tested or whatever before you enter the doors or whatever. So go to the cellar. Yeah, so he has the entity is with him, but it does not affect him because he's immune to it. And so the son and the mom, they're like, we want to go see dad, and the girl's like, no.
Yeah, the daughter's
no.
the only fucking smart one that's like,
The only
don't
smart
bring him
one.
in here.
And so the younger brother sneaks out and goes and is like, I'm gonna go see dad, and immediately gets infected. The mom goes after the son, immediately gets infected.
Oh, but the mom knocks the fuck out of her own daughter because her daughter's like, we have to kill them, and she's like, nope, and then just knocks her own daughter out.
They attack the dad. And so they injure the dad. And so the daughter finally wakes up from being knocked out and she goes into the basement and she finds her dad.
But how did he infect them?
Because he had the virus with him, he just was immune to it.
Okay.
So he didn't turn or get any of the signs or whatever, or anything that developing because of that reason. And so they caught the virus. Because also it's outside. It's weird. There were so many loopholes and there were so many
loopholes. She regardless, she goes down there and she beheads the mom and the brother, and
The dad
The
is like,
dad
carry on my
dies,
legacy, and so
gives her a
she
little magical wand.
a little meter reader, and then she carries on the business, and it ends with her taking because basically like the only way you can kill these demonic creatures is by cutting off their heads. So every morning they come around and collect heads of those that have died, and so then it ends with the guys being like heads, like good morning, like get your heads, and she throws the brother and the mom's head into the bin and drives off on a motorcycle all punk and shit.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't like how it was filmed. The acting was okay, but it just didn't. It was the loopholes and then that really bad filter over the movie that made everything.
Yeah, there was like a weird red filter that made everything orangey red, and it was very. What's that movie with the desert? Apocalyptic. It's like a post-apocalyptic movie. They're
Mad
in the desert.
Max.
Yeah, it was trying to give me that type of vibe. Very, motorcycle grunge, leather jacket, but just also in a suburban neighborhood where they throw heads out. Were you gonna say something?
No, I was just gonna say I love how drastically different our
Lists are. It's kind of cute.
Yeah.
My number 9 was Mum. It just to me it just wasn't weight. It was just there was no. It was probably the best written one and the quickest and the most
But
the one that made the most sense.
Is another family abuse story, another one, y'all.
Another family abuse story, also like another military background story in this season as well. Like they keep going on these weird tropes. This one was heavy on the family abuse.
We're gonna go to an ad break, and when we come back, we're gonna be talking more about what?
Creepshow. Wow, what a crazy little ad break. That was delicious. That was tasteful. I am interested. If you don't have Spotify Premium, get it.
If you subscribe to the Patreon, you'll see this.
Oh.
Actually, I think I might have to cut that out. You'll see what might be there.
Put a little art over it.
Yeah.
Basically, this boy is in an abusive family. The dad is abusive. The mom is like this like hippie, like floral kind of girl, living her best life, very in tune with the earth, loves her garden. And then there's like these other characters that are not family, but very close to the family.
Yeah, very confusing. But they're just
confusing as to what their role is. Also, like they both watch this man be abusive to his wife, and they somehow still tell everyone that, like, and believe that it's the wife's fault.
Did he put like? Was she really an alcoholic, or did he just put that in her suitcase?
Yeah, so they basically the wife is reached a point where she's like, I want to bounce. I don't want to be here anymore. She tells her son like, we're leaving. The son's like, well, let's go pack a suitcase.
She's like, does Daddy know? And she was like, of course he does. And then they open the door, and no, he does not.
And he does not. And then the suitcase opens up, and alcohol and money falls out. He's like, you're stealing from me. Like, you're drinking again. Like, you're an alcoholic. I'm calling the police. They go to leave
somewhere, and she ends up dead.
They end up fighting. She falls in the car. She dies. So they bury her body in her garden. And
which I thought was like, why would you bring the body
home?
It doesn't make sense to be like, we don't know what happened. Because they were planning this whole thing like, this is what happened to her. But then why would you bury her? And not even 6 feet. Not even 6 feet in the ground. Like 1 foot into the ground. Bitch, a squirrel could get in there and eat that shit. A dog.
So basically, the son goes to the garden. Is like, I love my mom's garden. Like, I can't wait for her to come home. She doesn't come home. He misses her. Finds this weird plant that's growing. He like loves it.
That has her like hair in it.
Yeah, and it has her hair in it. Was really cool in my opinion. But like, it was just weird. And then basically the mom. It's very suddenly Seymour. The mom. Seymour comes alive and kills everyone involved except for the son. The son basically feeds these things to the mom. And then the son leaves.
Yeah.
It wasn't bad. It just was so expected. I knew I knew instantly when they were like, the garden, the mom wants to leave, abusive relationship. I was like, I know exactly where this is going. And it went exactly where I thought it would.
I do like the death of like the woman that he's having an affair with. Because he's like, the son goes, oh my God, Dad, I did something. And then the dad kind of lures him out there. And he goes to like turn over I hate always these things where they like, it looks like a normal person, turns them over and their face is just kind of being like, roots are in their face and they just look all fucked up. That's always like really disturbing things in movies for me. It's like when someone turns over and they're just nasty. But yeah, that was a lot higher for me, but I can see why you, like for me, it doesn't seem drastic why you put that so low.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Because a lot of these were very meh. That's why I'm like, what happened with the season, y'all? What happened with this season? I don't know what happened.
Where was the seasoning?
What was the season?
What was the season?
So that was your number 9?
That was my number 9.
So my number 8 was Stranger Things. That's why I was like, it was very middle of the road. Like I said, any of these could have been the bottom, and I would have been fine. So what was your number 8?
My number 8 was Queen Bee.
I can see why. So
yeah, was it higher for like a lot higher for you?
No.
Oh, it's your number 7.
No. Well, basically, Queen Bee is a story about these, which it's
the story of a girl.
It's the story of a girl. It's a little too close to an actual real Beyonce story. I'm like, and it's called Queen Bee. That's why I'm like, very weird.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's the thing is where I'm like, I knew immediately Queen Bee. I was like, this is gonna be a pop star singer reference, Beyonce, something like that, and it was. Stranger Sings, no correlation.
No correlation at all. It was just a stranger singing. Bitch, it was just a stranger singing. That's like Stranger Things being like, things are strange. Queen Bee is a story about this pop idol who these 3 friends are. I can tell this was written by someone old. They're like, I am her biggest fan.
Oh, very bad,
Hunty
mama. I'm so glad you said that, because that's what it was. I hate when I watch things that older generations write, thinking that we are.
Yeah.
Because it was...
I am her number 1 big fan. Like, no one talks like that anymore. Like, no one talks like that. The 3 of them are like, oh my god, she's giving birth, like their pop idol. What was her name?
I don't even... It doesn't matter.
Meredith or something? No, I need because it had one singular word. There was no last name, so I was like, oh, they really want it. Regina. Her name was Regina. Regina is pregnant. She's given birth, and she has reserved the whole hospital floor. And I was like, wow, this is very similar to when Beyonce gave birth, and she reserved the whole hospital floor. And she's known by the Queen Bee, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And she has one name, Beyonce Regina. I was like, this is a little... I don't know who wrote this, but this is... It doesn't seem... I don't know. It felt weird. Their mom, I guess, works at the hospital, so they take her
hospital key card,
and they go to the hospital, potentially hurt a security guard, and they're like, instead of being like, guys, we've taken it too far, they continue to go to see the birth of this child. Mm-hmm. And they even see these nurses with glowing green eyes being weird. Like, even one of them knocks over a fucking huge ass shelf, and the thing looks right at the girl who did it and just looks at the temperature and kind of just walks away. So, you know, at this point, I'd probably be like, okay, guys, let's leave. This is weird. But they continue to find the room where Regina is. And Regina, this is some pretty cool special effects. It looks pretty fucking cool. Mm-hmm. Regina turns into a giant queen bee of some sorts. It looks insane.
It was like a bee meets a praying mantis meets like a red-orange color palette.
Yeah, and it's using this like humming sound to put everyone in a trance. Why doesn't it affect one of the girls?
Because she has AirPods in.
Oh.
And so, because she goes, everyone's like, basically whenever the creature, like they go to take a picture of this creature, because they're like, holy fuck. Like, they're like, this is crazy. We're going to expose her.
Bitch, with
they
flash
take a picture, on. The flash goes off. We've all been there. It's fine. But then they're like, oh, and they stay for a second, and then they go to run. But before they can run, she does the pitch, hypnosis them, and the girl's like, oh my god. And then she's like, hello. And then she's like, why is it not happening to me? And then she is like, oh, my AirPods. And because she shakes her friend's head, like she's like, girl, wake up. And her hands cover her ears. And as soon as her ears get covered, the friend like snaps out of it and is like, what's going on? And then she takes her hand away and the eyes start glowing green again.
Yeah, and she comes back and puts cotton balls in her friend, but their other friend, Carlos, I think is his name, gets like fucking killed through the head. Yeah, it's too late.
He's already transfixed, and so the thing just kills him. And so then they basically go to escape. Yes. They make it. They have this huge fight scene. It's dumb. It's whatever. They make it to the elevator. They get to the elevator. They're almost out. And the girl's like, I can't wait till we can post this, like, and everyone can find out who she really is. And one of the friends is like, post it? She has a tour next month. I bought meet and greet tickets. Like, this is gonna. Like, you're not saying anything. And the friend's like, no, we can't let this get out. And then the other friend is like, you're right, we can't let this get out. And then she like takes her little like cotton swabs out, and the friend's like, no. And then
her friend randomly betrays her.
Her, kills her, and feeds her to the
like the larva in the room. One thing I really didn't, like I said, really love the prosthetics. I can say things I do like. One thing I did not like was when this is a scene straight out of Scream 4, where they grab the defibrillator and go clear and shock someone in the head. I was like, girl, Scream 4 came out a decade ago. So you said it had so much potential.
Yeah, they realize that these things are under a trance, right? So and they're not like fast. Like they're not zoomy doctors. Like they're very slow. They're very I'm like, you didn't want to maybe, I don't know, cover their heads, try to put cotton swabs in their ears, just cover their ears for 3 seconds and be like, yo, wake up. You didn't want to do that. Instead, you thought, let's murder doctors that are under a trance.
Yeah, because they fully kill
without hesitation. Like it wasn't even like they were like, this is like I'm put in a situation where I have to kill.
Yeah, she just like, stabs one of them in the eye.
Her friend is on the ground struggling. The friend had her arms free, could have literally reached up and covered the ears if she wanted to. But I will give her the benefit of the doubt. Pinned down. I don't know how her bones work. But the other friend is behind him watching and is like, and isn't like, let me cover his ears or let me get him off of her. She grabs a needle and is like, let me stab him in the eye. What the fuck is wrong with you? And then she grabs the defibrillators and isn't like, let me push this one off of you. She's like, clear. Don't say clear, bitch. Just fucking do it.
That's why I was like, it was very much like Scream 4. I know you haven't seen it, but it was very much like that. I think you said it. I wish it was just a cult. Wish it was just a cult, like maybe an Illuminati reference or something like that. Because if you're already going to do all these fucking ties to Beyonce, there's always the rumor that if she's Illuminati, woo, 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 which I don't give a fuck about. You know, let her live her life.
Also, just like make it more realistic. Like, because the thing was like, she runs down.
Are you telling me that a giant bee lady is not realistic enough?
It's not realistic enough for me. But like the whole concept was that she has money. She rents out entire floors. She wanted privacy. She wanted security. Maybe instead of being a demonic bee demon creature that sacrifices people, let it be a cult where they sacrifice people in a normal humanic way. That's horror. Which I do get Creepshow. I do understand part of the art of Creepshow is to be sci-fi, you know, weird, unexpected twists. Yeah. But I would have liked it more if it was a cult or something demonic.
I don't think it needed the hypnosis. I think they could have just had their own coming to Jesus moment, you know, where they literally worship this idol.
And that's what I thought it was.
Yeah, I thought
because the whole time they're like, she's iconic. Like they have all these photos of her on her wall. They're like Queen Bee. Like they fight over who's their fan. I would have loved that a lot more. But that is why that was my ranking. Yeah, that was my number 8.
Okay, what was your number 7?
So my number 7 at this point was Meter Reader, and it's just everything that we discussed. I liked it a little bit more than what we'd seen. But it was still pretty.
You gasped when I said that. That's only 7 out of this list. You made it seem like it was number 1, bitch.
Because no. I just was shocked it was so low. But
if Meter Reader was your number 1, I would have been like, bitch, I'm judging you. You're gonna judge my number 1. Number 7 for me was The Last Suburaya. I liked a lot of things about this. So it's basically an art. This guy inherits this Japanese art that has like so much meaning to it, and I thought he was gonna be in this story. This guy who inherited it, but he, instead of selling it to the museum, right? It was to the museum. Was the other option, or it was this curator or something?
So yes, but what it is that he gets called in this office or whatever. It's like a lawyer and a museum person, and they're like, "So you're the last descendant of this painting, and this is like the most famous painting in the entire world. Like this guy paints horrific paintings.
Yeah.
And so they're like, you know, like it's never been unboxed. They in the will it specifically states that when he dies after 100 years, this goes, if he has a bloodline, like this will go to the bloodline of his family. And so the guy's like, yes, like I'll take it. And then this artist guy comes in and is like, I will give you $20 million if you sell me that painting. Like very Jeff Bezos kind of energy.
Yeah.
And the museum is like, give it to the museum, and he ends up taking the money.
Yeah, because like they're like, give it to the museum because that'd be nice. And then the rich dude is like, no, you should give it to me because I want it. And the museum people are like, you're an asshole, and we know this. But yeah, he sells the art to him, and he is such an asshole that he has this whole art party at his home to show off, quote unquote, show off this painting, right? But he's like, hey, hold on first. He opens it, and he's like, everyone, okay, hold on. He opens up the painting, brings it out, and he's like, wow. And then burns it before anyone can see it. And everyone's like, why the fuck would you do that? And he's like, because I can. So I'm the only person who's seen it. And he's just like a narcissist. He's a huge asshole. He's an asshole to his girlfriend, and his girlfriend kind of still puts up with it for some reason. Long story short, he releases a fucking demon. The demon looks pretty cool. I will say that.
No, I love the demon.
Yeah, the demon looks really nice. What were you about to say?
Also, like, just the situation. So she basically, like, you know, she's also an artist, and that's why he found her.
His like girlfriend.
Yeah, and he buys all of her paintings so no one else can see them. Very exclusive. And she thinks it's like hot at first. And so one day, like that happens, they have the party, they light the painting on fire, and the museum person is there. And she goes to the girlfriend and she's like, "You support that? Like that was destruction of art. Isn't that what you do?" And the girl's like, "Yeah, I do art." And she's like, "Do you like wait till that happens to you? Like wait till he starts burning your paintings to where other people can't appreciate it."
Yeah.
And she storms out. And the girl's kind of like, "That kind of happened. Like I can't show anybody my art because he owns all of it and it's just for him." So she realizes how this guy's manipulative. Red flag number one. So that night she confronts him.
That was the first red flag.
That's the first red. Okay. So then she confronts him, and she's like, "Why are you so mean?" And he's like, "One day, because he's filthy rich, and he's like, this guy needed, you know, a heart transplant or some type of transplant to save this kid's life, and he was willing to spend so much money on it, and I had that money. Because I had that money, I could prevent that from happening, and so I prevented it from happening, and his son died, and he died because I didn't give him what I wanted to give him, and like it felt so good to like know that I had that power and that control." And she's like, "You monster," and then she still stays with him.
Yeah, she's like, "Let me get out my painting."
But the gag of it, right, is that red flag number 3 is he comes to her and he's like, "There's a monster in the house." And she goes, "I can't take this anymore. You're crazy. I'm breaking up with you," and leaves. So like he disrespects you. You get called out. He's rude to you. He literally tells you that a child has died because of him, and you stay with him. But when this man comes to you,
there's a whole thing where he like, I took something that he sold me and then I sold it for like millions more. Like, what an idiot. He's just very condescending. Just quintessential. When you think of a rich snobby person, it is this guy. So he's fighting off this demon. He kills the demon with a spear through the glass on his very high like penthouse window, which I was like, I don't think you can just puncture it with a weapon like that. Like, that has to be very strong glass. Demon turns back into the artist, and he is like, "You freed me. Thanks, bitch." But,
you freed me.
Looks like you're cursed now.
What was that TikTok? "You freed me. I no longer have to kill again."
He unintentionally frees the demon, and then now he's becoming the demon, and he's like, "Nope, I don't want to do this," and he just sprints right into the spear. And it's such a cheap plexiglass that they use that when he runs into it, you can see the mirror like wobbling when he kills himself. But that's the story. That's why thank you, Big Sean. That's why it's like middle of the road for me, because it just didn't. I loved it in the beginning. I thought it was like leading up somewhere, but then I was like, oh, we have to follow this asshole through the whole.
Yeah, I liked it. I actually loved. I mean, there's nothing I could say negative about it. I loved it.
My number 6 was Queen Bee.
My number 6 was Timeout.
Oh my god, our list is so fucking weird.
Okay, but now I'm glad because our 5 have got to be. My number 5 was a girl named Sue.
Okay.
And so basically, I know it was an Evil Dead reference, right?
No.
Or was it it's a reference to something? Because
I think this is a reference maybe to Night of the Living Dead, which they already did last season.
Yes,
because it's filmed in black and white.
So it's a Night of the Living Dead spinoff.
They just did this reference last season.
I've not seen it, so I didn't catch that it was a reference.
But the only thing that makes it a reference is the time period and that it's in black and white.
And it's like this weird energy of like zombies. But basically what it is there's this cop who's just like, this is in the era of Evil Dead. Or no.
Night of the Living Dead.
Night of the Living Dead. It's that era. So basically this plague is taking over, and like everyone's in civilization survival mode. And there's this cop who's like still doing things by the law, and like the townspeople are like, "Yo, there's this guy who's awful. Like he's, you know, they don't tell you this, but when I read the Wikipedia page, I get to lose it. Like he's a rapist. He's killed people. He's hurt people. He's stolen from people. Like he's manipulated people. Like he's been arrested.
Yeah, he's been arrested all the time, and they basically are like, we are done. If we see him, we're gonna be our own vigilantes and figure it out ourselves.
Yeah, and so they arrest him all the time, and he always gets off the hook because his dad is the mayor, and so they find loopholes, and so the police chief is like, I cannot arrest this man after whatever he's done. They don't tell you what he did this time, but all the townspeople are like, how dare you let him after all he did this? And they end up with like, especially what he did to Sue. Everyone gets quiet. They're like, fuck this. We're going to find this man ourselves, and we're going to take it in our own hands. The cop's like, if you do that, I'm going to arrest you guys. Like, it's against the law. And the people are like, what law? Like, the world is over. We're post-apocalyptic. There's zombies everywhere. Like,
but we don't specify. We don't specifically know about zombies until the sheriff kind of gets to where the bad dude is, and the bad dude is just around a dead body. And he's like, she came at me, but then we see like zombies outside. But the sheriff does notice a blue ribbon. This is black and white. He sees one thing blue, so he gets that, and that's when he's like pissed, and he arrests the dude. He makes the connection to what we find out later. So he arrests him, brings him back, puts him in the jail cell, and he's like, what are y'all gonna do? He's basically like, I'm gonna be free. I didn't do anything. Who cares? Blah, blah, blah. My dad's the mayor.
I'll be free.
My dad's the mayor.
And so basically just full of himself, and he's like, what are you gonna do? You're gonna kill me in front of all these people? And the cop's like, no, like, I'm not gonna kill you. And then they bring in this bag, and inside of it is
squirming.
And he's like, what's that? And he's like, you know exactly what it is. So they throw the bag into the cell with him. They close them in the cell. They lock it up. And out comes the girl, Sue, who's a young child. And she has a blue pigtail. And one of them is missing. And she's like cannibalistic. And she devours him. And the whole time
she's like, a zombie.
No. Yeah, she's a zombie.
She's cannibalistic.
She gets killed, but they can't. I don't know. It's just weird. But
basically, it's implied that he sexually assaulted her and then killed her. Which is really fucked up.
Yeah, and then because of everything going on in the world, they can't bury her. And if you don't bury her with this virus, then like she'll turn into a zombie. So she turns into a zombie.
Yeah.
And so they use her
get rid of the brain. Yeah, they didn't.
Yeah, get rid
of the brain.
And so she attacks him and kills him. So it's like a revenge storyline. It's really good. I liked the revenge plot. I really liked all of that. It was a little weighted though. To me, like there were some heavy.
Yeah, I was like, where are we going with this?
That I didn't need in it for me to understand the value of it, but I get it. I also like the Evil Dead reference, or the Night of the Living Dead reference, like me saying Evil Dead a million times. The Night of the Living Dead reference. Now, when I opened up the Wikipedia page and I read it, I was like, oh, this makes so much sense to me. If you're gonna do like an episode that's a spinoff and it's not 100% understood that it's a spinoff, or it's like a canon, explain it to me so I know. So like we didn't know that zombies were going on until like literally the end.
Probably like at least the midpoint.
Yeah,
because we're also seeing on the radio them talking about, or not on the radio, on the TV them talking about zombies.
But I did like the storyline because that's something that's valid that would happen. Like if we reach that point in life, we would have to process like when do we give up on laws. So I liked the thoughts that came from
it. Or when do we just like handle things ourselves
separately? Yeah, and kind of go that. And then I also liked, it was a lot on betrayal. It was a lot on like learning that a system doesn't work anymore and like accepting change. So I really like the thematical elements and the thoughtful elements, and it was the one that I was very much so intrigued by the most. It's just the fact that there was, like you said, like there was sexual assault, innuendos, and like just like murder and like children, and a lot of those things I don't think I need to see in a situation.
Yeah, I'm glad that we didn't necessarily see any advances, because that would have made me very uncomfortable.
Very uncomfortable, but it's something where it's like I don't even want to see that in a movie. Like he could have done, murdered somebody. He could have done something else,
or like accidentally killed her.
Yeah. So it's just for me that's the only reason why that was ranked. Because if it was not for that, it probably would have been my 1 or 2.
For my number 5, I put Okay, I'll Bite. I honestly just liked it because of the spider head. That's honestly the only thing. Everything, honestly, a lot of these stories I didn't really care for. Like anything.
It reminded me of this. The spider reminded me of the spider from Legend of Zelda.
I don't know that reference. So.
That's fine.
What is your number 4?
So my number 4 was Familiar. I loved the thematical elements. I loved the palm reading energy. It was a great storyline. The only red flag for me for that was the acting and the fact that the girl wasn't in on it, and I thought she would be in on it.
I don't know. I think the acting just really did it in for me, where I just was like, nope, don't like this.
Which I will say.
And I just, obviously, clearly, I misunderstood a lot of that story, so.
Well, that's a good segue into what I was going to say. When I watched this, I did watch it with Wikipedia open.
Wow, so you're using cheat codes. Got it.
So I was getting a little bit more explanation, which I do that with anything I watch. I can't even watch television without having the Wikipedia plot line up. So I can see, like, to me, it's almost like now I'm listening to these things and I'm like, maybe these stories just weren't told correctly, because I had to look at the Wikipedia page, and that's why my scores are so different.
My number 4 was a dead girl named Sue.
Okay, what was your number 3?
My number 3 was Mums. Okay, I only liked it for the like, it wasn't like when I was first watching the first 2 episodes, I was already like, I know what my bottoms were. And then I watched episode 3 and 4, and I was like, I have to reevaluate my list. Because when I first watched the season, I was like, Queen Bee, bottom 1, don't like it. Is your number 3 Skeletons in the Closet?
Yeah.
Oh my god, I'm so psychic. Why'd you like that one so much? I didn't really care for it.
Because okay, so this is also the gag. I have not seen a lot of those old classic films that you were talking about. So to me,
you were just like, what are these things?
Well, I was just like, I recognized them and I knew what they were, but I've not seen them done a million times. And then to me, up until that point, I hated it, and then they did it in such a cheesy way, and it was so cheesy on purpose, in my opinion. Like the skeletons fighting was just so dumb. And the scene in the shower, like the skeleton literally stabs her like 17,000 times. It's like 45 seconds, and she's just like,
and she's breakdancing in the fucking shower.
Yeah, and she's just like for like ever, and then she just stops and is like, and then she drops.
Yeah, that's it's honestly a shot by shot same thing that happens in Psycho. That's the same thing. The reaching out of the arm and then falling for it. It's the same.
And even
shot.
that, like the arm reaching out and then the curtain pulls back and it's like a skeleton, the boniest skeleton hand in the universe, is holding a knife, being like, bah, bah. It was so bad. And you can tell it's a skeleton prop. Like you can literally tell it's not like an actual skeleton or looks real. It looks like a prop. It looks so stop motion.
Yeah. The main reason why I like the Evil Dead reference in the second season was because I felt like it added to the story. It had Ted Raimi in it. It did this kind of like cool reference of like everything tying into this specific reference, which, you know, is kind of similar to the Sue story. What I didn't like about this one, because you would think references, because it even had Bob Ross, that one just made me feel things, which versus this one, which made it feel like they were just throwing everything in there to be like, look at this, look at that, look at this, look at that. Oh, we just did a Psycho reference. Oh, we just did a Shining reference immediately after that. And those are just so overdone for me that I was just like, I don't like it. I hate it. So.
I just liked how dumb it was. And like,
I could see that for you.
The skeleton making out with him at the end, like that was just so funny. It was so stupid. My number 2, though, I'm curious what your number 2 is, because if it's the same, I'm gonna be really excited.
The things in Oakwood Pass.
Yes!
Oh my god, we finally have one that matches.
This one, if that's on your bingo card, yes, queen.
When I first watched this one, this is the only animated one in this season, which is cool. I wasn't expecting that. I was a little... At first, I was like, I don't know what I'm getting into. But then when it started to pick up at the end, I was like, oh, this one is fucking, like, rad. Like, this is one, when I finally watched this, I was like, oh, thank God. Thank God. A story I like. Thank God. There wasn't, honestly, there was nothing in here that I really hated. I really enjoyed the story. So, basically, it's a story of this town.
A story
Oakwood.
of a girl.
It's a story of this town where every 200 years, the town suddenly disappears and there's a time capsule that's in the ground. So, it happened in 1621, 1821, and now 2021. So they're like, well, let's open up to see what's in this time capsule. And the realty is like, no, you don't want to open that up because it's not a time capsule. It's a cage. And it was kind of like a little bit of a slow burn because I was like, where's this going? The voice acting is really good. I love the voice acting. This was probably the acting, which is funny because you don't even see them. This is the acting that I really liked in this whole season. When that chest opens up, all these demons come. Actually, one of the demons bursts through her dad, who's the mayor, and it's very gory. Like her dude that she kind of likes, that's been interviewing her because she's a historian, he gets his arm cut off, then his legs cut off, and then just from the taint up to the head split in half. I was like, oh my god, this is so graphic. The girl who's the cameraman gets like eaten by the spider, and she's driving away. Well, she's stuck in the cop car and they're driving away, and the cop gets like sliced in half and she's almost killed. And I'm like, oh my god, is she gonna die? And she reaches outside of the town and the creatures can't get to her and they leave. And I was like, I love it. I love how it ended. I think it just ended well. It was just very shocking to see that revelation. I didn't know what was going to happen, and maybe I want to see them do more animated stuff. I don't know.
Well, I was gonna say when I was watching, I was like, why don't they do this more often? I assume it would be so much. To me, it'd just be a lot easier.
Yeah.
But
actually, no, it'd be very expensive.
But I liked it. They also did like this weird art style that I loved from like the early 2000s movies, where like she's on the police car and like it's almost 3D, but it's at 2D 3D.
Yeah.
You know, we saw a lot of it in like Scooby-Doo, and we saw a lot of it in like Courage the Cowardly Dog, with that kind of animation style. That sent me very nostalgic. The creatures were so creative. The monsters, the storyline, it was the most consecutive storyline. It made the most sense to me.
Yeah.
I liked it a lot. It was my favorite. The voice acting, there's literally no complaints.
Yeah, I don't have any issues.
It was so well done. And this is my favorite. That was my favorite one I've seen in the entire Creepshow franchise.
Yeah, like, but it's our number twos.
Oh, yeah.
Number twos. My number one, you ranked it so low.
I know. You ranked, we'll just say it.
Drug traffic.
Oh, God.
Was yours the last Suburaya?
Yeah, which, like, I do love painting and I do love art, so obviously I was inspired. But, like, I just loved that storyline. To me, it gave me very much that old, what movie was that with the, there's an old movie, or not an old movie, it's a movie that came out.
Oculus.
The Velvet.
Velvet Buzzsaw?
Yeah, it kind of reminded me of Velvet Buzzsaw, this demonic creature that has possessed a painting, and it gets sold, and then it gets auctioned off.
Wait, no. I think...
Yes, the Velvet Buzzsaw.
With Jared Leto? Or not Jared Leto, Jake Gyllenhaal?
Yeah, to me it was very close to that. And then also reminded me of just
you like that?
I did like it.
Oh.
But also that was like the first movie that I saw that was like horror and art in this caliber. And it's like the psychotics, because like art, the whole point of art is to feel something, right? The whole point of art is to, and like the theory of this one was the paintings were so evil, they made you feel awful. And you know, even though it was a curse, like when he was feeling all these negative emotions, and they were like, the girl was like, you're feeling guilt, you're feeling negativity, you're feeling all this bitterness, like that's what art is supposed to do.
Yeah.
So I thought it was really inspirational, honestly. Oh yeah, why was it number one for you?
Drug traffic, I think it was just because I think this is the last episode that it's in. I think it was just a palate cleanser of things that because this season we were seeing a lot of things we had already seen in previous seasons, and I was honestly was getting a little tired of it. So this one I was like I need a J horror inspired story.
What's a J horror?
Japanese horror.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Japanese horror inspired story. And this one, I think, perfectly encapsulates that. We got a girl's head flying around eating people's fucking bodies, you know? I do like the political kind of... He was insinuating that this guy who was a Border Patrol agent was racist. And he was like, honestly, no, I'm a communist. And I'm like the leftist that you could get. And I'm only here because they don't want me anywhere else. I don't give a fuck. If someone sneaks in, I don't give a shit. I have to pretend I'm doing my job when really I am not.
At one point, like the guy's like, the Border Patrol guy is just, the cameraman's like, you know, just read this medication off and like let him know, you know, like that you're, you know, whatever, like just cater to it or whatever. And the girl's like, I can't read this. And he's like, you can't read?
And the Border Patrol is like, that's in Chinese. And he was like, so? And she's like, no, I'm not that kind of Asian.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, she goes, I'm not Chinese. And then he goes, then what? He says, what the fuck kind of Asian are you? Or something like that.
Basically very racist,
like,
yeah.
Yeah, and the Border Control guy's like, thank you for saying that. That is the footage. Like, now you can sue this bitch. Now you can get your money.
No. I think he was saying to like was he saying to the camera person, like, take that and sell that to whoever who has the highest bidder. And I kind of like that, but I wish we got him dying in the end. Yeah, I don't think he died.
I wanted him to die.
Or if he died, it was off camera.
Or what would have been camp, right? Is so at the end they're bonding. Like they're like they've survived this thing. It's the only two people left are politician and Border Patrol guy. I would have lived if the politician guy would have been like, damn, like I can't believe we fucking survived that. And then politician guy's like, or the Border Patrol guy's like, yeah, and then just like stabs him with the glass and is like, we're not doing that. And then he walked out, you know, and he left. And then the head floated out or whatever. The mom head body came out behind him and like saw him driving off. And then the Creepshow thing was like, meh. And like,
I think that would have been better for me too.
It was still a good season. Like we're very opinionated about.
It wasn't. I'm so sorry. It was not for me. I don't know. Something happened with this season. There was a lot of potential. There was like the Queen Bee one had a lot of potential. I think Stranger Things could have been a little bit better.
A Girl Named Sue could have been tweaked a little bit. Mom had a lot of potential.
Mom's had a lot of potential as well. I would love to. I don't know. Maybe sometimes less is more. Last season only had 9 stories, and I thought that was. I think season 2 was my favorite season.
Same.
So far.
Season 2 was my favorite. I did also like, oh my god.
Oh, girl, what is going on outside? Bitch, are you good? I enjoyed the second one the most.
Season 2 was my favorite.
Now, my ideal season would be like if they took.
Oh, are you about to compare your list 1, 2, and 3?
I mean, since we're this is the final. I was gonna say my ideal like best season, and I was gonna take all my favorite stories. So So I definitely would have drug traffic on. Okay, yeah, let's collect an improv. I know we're a little over. I'm probably gonna have to edit a lot down. Collect our
the dogs are out.
Our perfect season. So mine would have to have drug traffic in there. The Things in Oakwood's Pass. And that's it from season 3. Season 1, I would have Lydia's Lane, The Companion, All Hallows Eve. For season 2, I would add Public Television of the Dead, Night of the Living Late Show, and yeah, I'm just gonna do that.
That's fine.
You know what? Let's add the Head story too from season 1 because that one's actually really nice. The House of the Head. I really like that.
Yeah. One. For me, I would have Things in Oakwood Pass.
Okay.
For sure. The last Subaraya, that was really good for me. Familiar.
And really?
I liked Familiar.
Okay.
And then season 2, I would have Public Television of the Dead, Dead and Breakfast, The House of the Head.
Yeah, really you liked All Hallows Eve.
And I liked All Hallows Eve, so that's 7 for me.
Yeah, we'll just leave it at that, 7.
Yeah, that's honestly all that. Oh, and then, that's all I would have. Yeah, but it was cute. I liked it. Season 2 is my favorite. I really wish they'd do more animations. I don't know if we're going to get more. Are we going to get more?
I mean, they did a special last year, and it was an all-animated special, a Halloween special.
I'm going to look into that.
Hopefully season... You know what? I said this was season 2. More just one episode things.
Even that, I wanted more 1 episodes. I thought we were going to get one, and I kind of looked forward to it, and I didn't get one.
Yeah, we didn't get that at all. We went back to doubles. They should just do more. Because, like, imagine a Dead Girl Named Sue as a full episode. Or maybe, like, Queen Bee. I feel like Queen Bee, you could have made things so much better with that. Or the Things in Oakwood Pass. If that was a full episode, that'd be wild. Or even Drug Traffic, too. So and then just do 6 episodes or 7 episodes. Like... And just have 7 stories versus 12 episodes, and we're trying to cram these many episodes in here. You know, focus on making 1 episode good.
Very that. I'm excited for the future. I hope there's more Creepshow. I still enjoy it. I like the format. I like the system. Season 3 was just...
This didn't have enough scare for me.
If you're listening, Creepshow, give me the oomph.
Yeah, or hit me up, because I got some scripts I can send you. Zanny, where can we find you?
You can find me on Instagram at zanny.ex or on Twitter at just zanny.ex. And you can also find me in Kansas City, perusing and
perusing and cruising on Snuffies or whatever it's called.
Yeah, on Snuffies. Where can we find you?
You can find me on most platforms under the name Terrah Card. That's TerrahCard. And you can also follow this podcast on Twitter at StayOnTheLineTC and other platforms at StayOnTheLine Podcast. I forgot to mention this, but we are a 2-time nominated award-winning podcast. Award-nominated podcast. Yeah, 2 times, baby. So I want to give a shout-out to my patrons for always supporting at the pee-pee poo-poo tier. So we got Matt King, Caitlin B, Willow Whisper, Kiki.com, Keith W, Pobre, Zincat, Coronation, and Rebecca Carlson. So if you want to subscribe to the Patreon, you can at patreon.com/stayontheline, where we have other extra bonus content. So yeah, anything else you want to leave off on?
No, much love, be safe, happy Halloween, happy spooky season, live your best life.
Thank you all for having me, and the spirits agreed to. I was going to pick up the candle, but it's kind of hot right now, so...
Yeah,
Oh, until next time, I'm Terrah Card.
And I'm Zanny X.
And make sure you stay on the line.
The line!